get started right away. We're gonna get started on our backs this afternoon. And Thursday's class is very much therapeutic. So you might even want to grab a pillow or some props, something where you can get comfy. We're gonna at least want one pillow with you. So this guy will settle down once we start. Once we stop moving. But he likes to be right up in my grill. Okay, I'm gonna put everyone on mute. Okay, so let's come to our backs. Soles of the feet are flat down to the mat, knees are bent up. So from here, we're gonna start by swaying those legs left and right, getting a release in that low back. We do a lot of sitting with the shoulders, the head, the neck pulling down towards the hips. A lot of compression in the low back. Swaying those legs left and right, getting a release here. We're gonna start by tucking those knees in towards the chest, heels towards the bum, arms wrap around the legs. Then we just kind of rock left and right, forward and back. And a small little ball. Then we're gonna extend, take those soles of the feet together, knees wide into Supta Baddha Konasana. So we're still flat on our back, our knees are out wide into a diamond shape, the soles of the feet together. We're gonna rock that right knee over to meet the left, getting a little bit of a twist here. Open those arms into a T, gaze is over to the right side. Breathe in and exhale. And all we're gonna do is lift that right knee that was stacked on top of the left back towards the sky. Bring it back into that Supta Baddha Konasana. Knees are wide, soles of the feet together. Then close that left knee over to the right side. Gaze drops over to the left hand. Getting a very gentle twist here. Inhale and exhale. Windmill that left knee up towards the sky. Open it back into that Supta Baddha Konasana, diamond shape. Then close those knees together, knees bent towards the sky. Pull those knees into the chest again and hug it out. Wrap the hands to opposite elbows. Really hug those knees into the chest here. Now we're gonna take the hands behind the legs. Take some rocks on the spine. Keep the chin tucked to the chest here. So you're getting some rounding in that spine. You're massaging out all those little muscles along the spine. Good. We're gonna come up into that easy seat. Notice which leg comes forward. It's likely that you favor one side. I favor my right leg. Just notice which side you're on. We're gonna switch it up eventually. Inhale those arms wide and up overhead. Shoulders pull away from the ears. Those pinkies are rotating inward and fingers are reaching up. Then we're gonna exhale, drop those arms over to the left side. So the right hand comes to the left knee. We're twisting over to the left side. Gaze is over the left shoulder. I want you to reach that left hand back and up, reach it away from the left hip, pull over to the right knee, get a stretch in that side body. Try to keep the shoulders stacked, hips stacked, rather than letting that chest collapse forward. Keep it stacked, shoulder stacked right on top of each other. Good, then I want you to keep pulling, close those shoulders off. Draw that left hand down to the floor, maybe off of the mat, maybe on the mat. We're gonna pull that hand over to the right side as much as you can. That left hand, or that right hand is still on the left knee. We're pulling in opposite directions here. Then we're gonna drag that left hand to the right knee. Keep those arms crossed, pull. Imagine someone pulling the middle vertebrae through the back to the back of the room, arching the spine here. Taking a cat back, belly button to spine, getting a stretch in the upper and mid back there, the rhomboids between the shoulder blades. Then kick that chest forward, arms open wide, cactus arms. Shoulders pull down and back, gaze lifts gently up. And then hands pull down by our sides. Inhale, reach out and up. And exhale, other side. So that left hand comes down to the right knee. Notice if you're doing a lot of this torquing with the arms, I want you to do less with the arms and more with the torso. So imagine a corset around the abdomen, pulling those ribs together on the front side body. By engaging there, you're going to take a lot of that torque out of the hands and rely more on the strength in the abdomen and the core. Gaze over that right shoulder. Reach that right arm back and up and over. Reach over to that left knee, getting a stretch in that side body. This should feel really good. If you feel that right hip peeling up, try to pull it back down to the mat. It's common that it likes to lift up when we pull away from it. Keeping those shoulders stacked. Continue to breathe. And then release that right hand down, reaching forward and diagonal over to the left side. Pull that right hand over. Keep pulling that left hand on the knee. So we're pulling in opposite directions here, getting a twist and a stretch in the shoulder area. Again, this should feel really good all along the side body. And slowly drag that right hand back to the left knee. Keep those arms crossed. Tuck the belly button to the spine. Pull the chin to the chest. Arch that back. Imagine someone pulling it towards the back of the room. Rounding the spine away from the front of your mat. And then bring those hands back and open into those cactus arms. Really imagine pulling the shoulder blades together. Imagine pressing or pinching a pencil between the shoulder blades on the back body. Someone's pushing their foot between those shoulder blades. Reach those arms out wide. Gonna take some neck movements. Drop the chin to the chest. Draw that left ear over to the left shoulder. Drop the chin forward, right ear over to the right shoulder. Those fingertips are tented on the mat here by the sides of our hips to really feel deeper into that chin or that neck stretch on either side. So as we rock forward and over to the right shoulder, we're feeling a stretch in the left neck area by pulling that shoulder away from the ear, fingertips reaching away. Then we drop the chin to the chest, rock over to the left shoulder. We're feeling a stretch in that right neck area. Right fingertips reaching away. Take some rocks here, forward and around, switching sides. Maybe pausing where it feels really good. Or maybe just moving steadily and consistently through the motions. This last time, when you find that chin back to the chest in a neutral flexion, I want you to, or that's a neutral, yeah, that's a flexion. So we're gonna bring the head back up over the spine, stack the head on top of the sit bones, reach those arms up overhead and bring it down. Roll over the knees, we're gonna come into a tabletop position. So to measure where those hands are, I want you to bring the middle fingertips together, fingers pointed inward. Spread those hands wide. Those fingertips are brushing right together of the middle fingers of the hands. Then keep the palms grounded down on the mat and just spin those fingers forward. That shoulder width distance for you. It's different for everyone, but that's how to measure yours. So tops of the feet are flat down, hands are spread really wide. Press into the fingertips. Those knuckles are gonna tent up. We're distributing the weight here through the hands rather than dumping it into the wrists. We're gonna start with some cat-cow, tuck the toes, pinch the shoulder blades together like we had that pencil between them again. Chest is pulling forward through the shoulders, gaze is up on our inhale. Then we exhale, chin to the chest, round the back, pull towards the ceiling, tailbone and head drop. Inhale. Chest opens, tailbone lifts, gaze lifts, belly button is pressing down. Then exhale, chin to chest, round the spine, tailbone tucks, coming into our cat. Take a couple of these with your own breath. I can cue, I can talk till I'm blue in the face, but eventually yoga is about finding what feels good in your body. So take some movements here, linked to your breath, that feel really good. They may look a little different than mine or your neighbors. Be true to what your body needs here. Good, this next round, next exhale after we take that cat, that back is arching up towards the sky, come back to a neutral table, engage that abdomen so the core is pulling together on the front of the body. That corset is pulling the ribs closer together. We're gonna kickstand this left foot behind us. Toes are tucked. I'm sorry, it's a little dark. I don't have the best lighting in this space. We're pressing that left heel back behind the toes, so we're getting a stretch in that left leg, the calf, and maybe the hamstring, depending on how tight we are. Keep those fingertips pressing down. Make sure that we're not getting lazy in the hands. Protecting those wrists at all times when we're on them. We're gonna kick that heel forward by pressing into the toes. Heel comes forward, weight comes into the hands. We float that left leg up. Press the left heel back as if we're kicking into a wall. That left leg is solid. We're gonna float the left knee out to the outside of the left shoulder and gently place it on the outside of the left hand. It's a lot of hip flexor activation there. So it might feel like it's a little crampy. That's okay, maybe use your hand to get there, stack the left knee on top of the left ankle. Then I want you to just use this right toe to kind of inch that right knee back. So keeping the left knee stacked right over the left ankle, just kind of heel or toe knee that right leg back so that you're feeling a stretch in this right hip. Very gentle transitions here. So instead of collapsing into these shoulders and rounding and letting the head neck go, I want you to pull the chest forward through the shoulders. Imagine creating space there rather than closing off. And then from there, I want you to bring the left hand to the left knee and the right hand to the left knee. So both hands are on the knee. Imagine a belt around your waist, a strap. Someone is pulling it forward and down. So a gradual downhill with this hip rather than drilling it straight down to the mat. By pressing into that left heel, even though we're imagining that hip, those hips pulling forward and down, by pressing into the left heel more, we're activating the left glute more. So we're protecting all of these joints going on in the hip and knee area. And we actually might go a little deeper from finding more activation than just passively relying on flexibility. So really ground underneath that left heel. You should really feel a stretch here in the right front hip. We'll bring this right hand down beneath the right shoulder. Twist this left hand up to the left side. If this right shoulder is pushing towards the right ear, try to pull it back down the right side body so it's pulling down towards the right hip. Left hand up. Imagine staying light in the right hand on the mat. Someone's pulling those left fingertips up and away. And then release that left hand down. We're gonna heel or toe knee this right knee back in to a table setup so that right knee comes right beneath the left or right beneath the hip. And that left heel is gonna pull towards the left butt. Kick it out like we did, coming in, and then kick that left leg back. We're gonna take one more crunch over to that left side with that left knee before we bring it down. So crunch that left knee over to the left armpit, as high on that left arm as you can get. Then kick it back. Then we're gonna bring that down to a table. I want you to tuck the toes. Press the hips back and up. Down dog. So notice how my shoulders aren't over my wrists. My shoulders are pressing back towards my knees. My knees are bent, hips are pulling back and up. From here, we're gonna ripple as if we're coming through that cat back. So a string attached to the middle vertebrae of the back. We're rounding through the back, coming towards our plank, super strong in the abdomen. Press away through the hands, doming through the shoulders. Tuck this left knee behind the left wrist. The left foot comes beneath the right hip flexor. So we're coming into half pigeon. We're not focusing on pulling this left leg parallel with the top of the mat or anything. I want this left foot to be right underneath your right hip flexor. Then we kind of use that back foot to kind of adjust the length of our leg. We want to focus on keeping those hips forward in our pigeon here. Now we're gonna find some of that activation to go a little deeper. If this is a struggle with your hands down, then leave this activation part out. It's totally okay. There's no expectation on where you should be today, but this is an option to take some more activation to go a little deeper if you'd like and there's no pain. So we're gonna press into this left leg, press into the top of the right leg, the right foot, and lift those hands. So we're pressing the mat away with our legs, no hands here. Then release those hands and kind of settle a little deeper into that pigeon. It may take a couple times, so maybe press into the legs, keep the shoulders stacked, strong in the abdomen, lift those hands, and then come back down, settling a little deeper. If you want, you can take it a third time. If not, we'll begin to settle into a moment of this half pigeon, either with our forearms down, maybe coming all the way down, forehead to the mat. You can just stay with those hands beneath the shoulders too. If this is super uncomfortable for you, take whatever variation feels good. This is some serious compression happening in that left leg, the left hip flexor. My theme of my classes this week has been all things are temporary. So even if this is one that you're really struggling to breathe through and you just can't wait for it to be over, remember that this is going to end and we're going to continue on in our practice and in our day, and it's very temporary. Everything that we work through is temporary. On and off our mat. So we're going to start to walk those hands back in underneath the shoulders. I want you to really mindfully come out of this half pigeon. So we start by tucking those right toes. Press the heel away, even to lift the knee a couple inches, maybe just an inch. Press into the hands, dome through the shoulders. Then once there's space, kick that left leg back into our plank. Ripple up and back, down dog. From here, drop those knees, come to our table. We're gonna take that same flow on the other side. So make sure that those hands are beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. Kick that right foot back. Tuck the right toes. Right heel is pressing behind the toes to get a stretch in the right leg. Make sure that those shoulders are even, hips are even. You don't get lazy in the abdomen or the hands. Fingers are spread wide. Fingertips pressing down, knuckles are tenting up. Then we'll press us forward by pressing through those toes. The heel comes forward. Hand is in, weight is in the hands. Lift that right leg up using the glute here. Then I want you to hover this right knee to the outside of the right shoulder, gently placing it on the outside of that right hand. Then from here, we're going to use that back toe to kind of inch that left leg long behind us so that right foot doesn't budge. The right foot is right beneath the right knee. That looks awesome. Yeah, that's great alignment in everyone I see. So the right knee is on top of the right ankle. If it feels like it's ever opening, imagine pulling it into the right shoulder so that it doesn't splay out here. Again, try to spread those shoulders. Shine that heart center forward, gazes up. And from here, continue that movement of forward and up, bringing the right hand to the knee, left hand to the knee, and press into that right heel to activate this glute here and protect all of these joints, the knees, the hips. If we solely rely on flexibility and are completely passive, that's where injury can happen. Inhaling and exhaling. Again, imagine that waist belt forward and down rather than just drilling that hip down. If there's any pinching in that back area with this position, I want you to imagine that crown of the head being pulled forward and up even more. So the more space that you can create in the spine, the less pinching you'll feel throughout, no matter where you are in your practice. And we're going to lower this left hand beneath the left shoulder, twist this right arm open into a low lizard lunge twist. Again, if that left ear is inching towards the left, or the left shoulder towards the left ear, try to pull that left ear back down towards the left hip, creating space in that left neck. Right arm is pulling up, keeping us light in the left hand on the mat. Good, then we're going to come down, right hand on the inside of the right foot. Use that back foot to tuck the toes, inch that left knee in, coming back to our table setup. That left knee comes right beneath the left hip. Then tuck this right heel to the right butt. Bring that knee up parallel with the mat and kick the foot back. Some hip flexor action here. So we're going to take one more tuck. That right knee over to the outside of the right elbow, the right shoulder as high as you can get it, and kick it back. Right foot down, comes to meet the left in our table. Tuck the toes, press it back, down dog. Hips are back and up, knees are bent. Shoulders are pressing back towards the thighs. Your down dogs look amazing. It's awesome. Cool, so from here, ripple it forward. Imagine that string attached to the middle vertebrae of the back, pulling you forward into your plank, dome through the shoulders. Pull this right knee behind the right wrist. The right foot comes just beneath the left hip flexor. Hips are angled, squared forward to the front of the mat. And use these back toes as adjusters. You can kind of press into them, pull the leg back, getting lots of space here. So the shoulders are pulling forward and up. So again, that pinching in the low back. If you're feeling that here by just throwing your shoulders over your hips, might mean that you have to lengthen through the spine before lifting up. Always finding as much space as we can. So we're going to take that activation, pressing into this right leg and the top of the left leg and the left foot. Lift, use those hip flexors, those legs, those quads, the adductors to press those legs into the mat. Hands lift. Then release the hands down, maybe use those toes to inch a little deeper. Then activate, press into the legs, hands lift, and come down. Again, if you want to take a third activation to go a little deeper, feel free. If not, and you're ready to just settle in, come down to your forearms, folding over that right leg. Maybe the forehead comes all the way down to the mat. Knowing that this half pigeon is known for being an uncomfortable one. It doesn't mean it has to be, but finding a bit of discomfort in this one is very, very normal. However, if you're feeling anything in that knee that's pinching or painful, discomfort is natural, but we can tell, we know what a stretch is when it's uncomfortable versus painful discomfort. So be sure to acknowledge that in your body. If there's any pain happening in that knee, we want to back out and come to a variation that isn't so hard on our joints. Only your body can tell you that. So just be true to that on your mat today. I forgot to say this on the other side, but if we come into half pigeon and your head is down and you're just feeling like you're hanging out, you're not getting a whole lot of sensation, try to focus on just a small shift of pulling that left hip forward, right hip back, not moving anything else, but trying to draw that left hip forward, right hip back, finding even more alignment squared off to the front of the mat. The more we do that, the more aligned our hips are going to be, and the more we're going to wake up sensation in this stretch. So if you're down, begin to press those hands underneath the shoulders, bringing the shoulders up, walking those hands in so that we're set up to tuck those back toes. Press the heel away, maybe lifting that knee already. Dome through the shoulders, activate through the abdomen, kick that right foot back to our plank, and then ripple it up to our down dog. Patting out those feet, bending one leg and then the other, pressing the shoulders back towards the thighs, the knees. Then we'll lower those knees down, mat width distance. Kick those hips back. Wide leg child's pose. So the knees drop, mat width distance, yeah. And then the hips pull back towards the heels. Wide leg child's pose. Fingers are reaching forward. Press into the hands firmly. Imagine pulling those palms back towards the knees, but they're not actually budging. This is going to activate a really yummy stretch in the obliques and the outer shoulders. Fingertips may even lift here if you can press firmly into the palms. Then we'll slowly drag those palms, keeping those palms in contact with the mat. Drag them back towards the knees, stacking the shoulders over the hips. Interlace the fingers, press the hands forward and up. Let me adjust here. So we're pressing those hands forward, interlaced, and up. And then exhale, hands come down. So we're kneeling, our fingertips are reaching towards the mat on either side, chin tucked to the chest with our hands down. As we inhale, reach those arms out and up, gaze follows the thumbs. We come to prayer hands overhead and exhale. Fingertips tap down, chin tucks to the chest, opening up the back of the neck. Shoulders are pulling away from the ears. We're going to take a couple more of these sun breaths. Inhale, gaze up, exhale, chin to chest. Inhale. And exhale. This last time, we'll inhale up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Anjali Mudra, hands in prayer at the heart. Close the eyes, pull the shoulders away from the ears. Thank yourself for giving yourself these 30 minutes for yourself. Taking some time to do self-care in the middle of a crazy day. So we'll complete today's practice with a communal breath. Exhale out any stale energy, exhale it all out. Empty it out and then inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I really hope you have a productive rest of your Thursday. Pose